Let's look at this in action. In this example, the Warsaw Pact player has activated the East German 4th Motor Rifle Division, and he has just declared that the East German 22nd Motor Rifle Regiment, located here and here, and planned for an assault operation, will now execute that operation to attack the U.S. troops in the town of Vernik here. So the Warsaw Pact player places an objective marker on that unit. He then, during the ensuing movement step, moves these units their allotted 3 movement points, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, into the attack. He chooses to consolidate these 2 units into a single unit, and then the American player now executes his defensive fire out of that hex. The first thing that the American player needs to do is determine what that fire will be. So he looks at the basic fire strength for his Abrams unit. It is a 9 times 1 step, or 9. However, consulting the fire effects chart, he sees that a tank firing out of close terrain, meaning a town, city, heavy woods, or rough hex, is halved. So this unit's basic fire strength of 9 becomes a modified fire strength of 4.5. Next, he looks at the Bradley. It has a basic fire strength of 4 times 1 step, or 4. However, again consulting the fire effects chart, he determines that a mechanized infantry unit in a town, meaning close terrain, and also in the objective hex, is doubled. So the modified fire strength of the Bradley becomes an 8. Totaling 4.5 for the Abrams and 8 for the Bradley gives us a total fire strength of 12.5. That rounds down to 12. The NATO player then applies the standard division by 2, and so the effective fire strength for this defensive fire is a 6. Next, the NATO player consults the combat results table and rolls the die. In the event, he is lucky and rolls a 10. That produces a hit modifier of +3, so the effective fire strength of 6 added to the hit modifier of +3 becomes 9 hits actually inflicted. These hits must now be absorbed. The defense strength of this East German unit is a printed defense strength of 3, +1 for being mechanized infantry, receiving other fire in a light woods hex. So the adjusted defense strength is a 4. With 9 hits inflicted, that is more than this unit's adjusted defense strength, so it must lose a step. That absorbs a number of hits equal to its adjusted defense strength of 4. 4 absorbed from the 9 hits inflicted leaves 5 hits remaining. Again, these 5 hits are higher than this unit's adjusted defense strength of 4, which means that another step must be lost. That now absorbs a total of 8 hits, leaving 1 hit remaining. This 1 hit is now less than this unit's adjusted defense strength and therefore insufficient to claim another step. That concludes the defensive fire combat. Now the Warsaw Pact player gets his chance to execute offensive fire into the objective hex. His basic fire strength is 4 times 6 surviving steps, or 24. Consulting the fire effects chart, he sees no factors that modify his basic fire strength, so he goes straight to the standard division by 2. 24 divided by 2 produces an effective fire strength of 12. The Warsaw Pact player consults the CRT and rolls a 7. The CRT indicates that this roll produces a hit modifier of +1. So a total of 13 hits are inflicted. The effective fire strength of 12 plus the hit modifier of +1. As always in a fire combat, no steps can be applied to a weaker unit in the target hex when a stronger unit is present. So the NATO player must determine which is his strongest unit. His Abrams unit has an adjusted defense strength of 9 +1 for occupying a town hex, or 10. His Bradley unit has an adjusted defense strength of 3 +4 for occupying a town hex, or 7. So the Abrams unit is the strongest unit in the hex. The NATO player absorbs 10 hits by losing one step from the Abrams unit, which is its last step, so it is immediately removed from the map. This leaves 3 hits still unabsorbed, which can now be applied against the Bradley unit because the stronger unit has been stripped away. However, these 3 hits remaining are not greater than or equal to the Bradley's adjusted defense strength of 7, so they can be safely ignored. However, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the Warsaw Pact player had rolled a 1 for his offensive fire. This would have produced a hit modifier of -3, meaning that his effective fire strength of 12 would have been reduced to just 9 hits actually inflicted. 9 hits would have been insufficient to claim a step from the defending Abrams unit, and the Americans would have suffered no loss from this offensive fire because the Abrams shields the weaker Bradley from any loss until the Abrams is eliminated. And this ends our clip on the basics of fire combat.